Hello everybody, I'm Thomas Carruthers.
I am Will Leggetter.
And today we have our penultimate episode in our fortnight celebration of William Goldman.
Gone quick, hasn't it?
It has gone quick. It goes quick when you're reviewing excellent films. And today we have another adaptation of his own work. It's The Princess Bride.
Grandfather's here.
Can't you tell me I'm sick? He'll pinch my cheek. I hate that.
Maybe he won't.
Hey, how was this sickie? Huh? I brought you a special present.
What is it?
It was the book my father used to read to me when I was sick, and I used to read it to your father. And today, I'm going to read it to you.
It was a time when life didn't seem so complicated.
Marriage is what brings us together today.
What?
What?
I'm killing myself once we reach the honeymoon suite.
Wouldn't that be nice?
A courtly age of gentle conversation.
I won't always come for you.
But how can you be sure?
This is true love.
Oh, no. Is this a kissing book?
No, actually there was a lot of treachery, peril, and revenge.
This was another one that you hadn't seen. It's the story of a grandfather telling his grandson the story of the Princess Bride. And the story of the Princess Bride is more or less a tale of star-crossed lovers with Wesley and Buttercup as they end up traversing great plains to find their true love.
Prepare to die.
Never go in against a Sicilian when death is on the line.
There were affairs of state.
But I've got my country's 500th anniversary to plan, my wedding to arrange, my wife to murder, and Gilda to frame for it. I'm swamped.
And affairs of the heart.
My Wesley will always come for me.
Your Wesley is dead.
I've seen worse.
Bye-bye, boy.
Have fun storming the castle.
It's more than turning.
What's the difference? We've got him.
Think it'll work?
It would take a miracle.
Bye-bye.
It's a story of love, a tale of adventure. It's as real as the feelings you feel.
We're kissing again.
Someday you may not mind so much.
The Princess Bride. Not just your basic, average, everyday, ordinary, run-of-the-mill, ho-hum fairy tale.
Again. And there's lots of help along the way from lots of wonderful characters and lots of great performances. Will, what did you think of The Princess Bride?
Marvellous.
It's a lovely,
Very good.
lovely film.
And
yes.
I love Carrie Elwes. He could
Yes.
be anything. Yes.
Are you a big fan of the first Saw film?
I am.
I think the first
I am.
Saw is excellent. I have, I gained moderate enjoyment from the other Saw movies. They're quite pleasurable.
If Saw's on at 11 at night, I'll flick it on. So it's a bit of fun.
It is. You're more of a Robin Hood Men in Tights man than I am.
I am. And Ella Enchanted as well. That's a
yes, he was in the third season of Stranger Things. I jumped ship on Stranger Things after season 1, I'm afraid. Did you stick it out?
I've never tried it, and it doesn't look like I would enjoy it.
He was in a movie in 2014 called Teen Lust. So, I mean, so I don't know if Carrie Elwes is still playing the hits. He is also. Well, here's a quiz question for you. Who did he play in Christmas Carol? The Zemeckis one.
Oh yeah, the one I like. Oh, that's a great. He will have played. Was it young Ebenezer? Or was
No.
it wasn't, his nephew was Colin.
Carrie plays all of Scrooge and the Ghosts, doesn't he? Carrie
No,
Elwes
he
is down
doesn't.
as playing Portly Gentleman number 1
Oh, right.
and Bill Wilkinson.
That's a made-up name.
Fair enough. He's also very good in the thriller Kiss the Girls with Morgan Freeman, which is a lovely little tight, little taut thriller. Well, basically, the book, the William Goldman book, is quite meta, quite convoluted, and it's William Goldman recalling his own father reading him this story. Then it cuts forward and he's reading it to his kids and he realizes that it's actually quite boring. And so he edits it. And so it's William Goldman writing an abridged version of S. Morgenstein's The Princess Bride. Obviously, S. Morgenstein is a fictional person and every word is Goldman's. But yeah, and so that's framing device developed into the framing device which we have in the film, also written by Goldman, obviously, or else we wouldn't be doing it. And we have Peter Falk, one of your great loves.
Yes, my
Lumbo
hero
himself, delivering it to a young Fred Savage. And it's, I dare say, ingenious. Let's just jump straight into the film. Will, why don't you kick us off with a 10-minute stretch?
Should we see what the kids have got to say?
Yeah, that's a good point. And that is one of the things that we do.
Yes.
YouTube comments. If they remake this, then they don't understand that some movies don't need to be touched. It's a classic. Will you remake the Dark Knight saga? Remake D's? I mean, they're not going to remake the Dark Knight saga.
No.
They'll just make more Batman movies.
Yeah.
They've already made 3 more, if we're including the one that's being made at current. They have remade it. They've done it all in quarantine, haven't they? Every famous man and his dog, because everybody loves The Princess Bride. So everybody's pitched in and done a scene. I haven't watched it yet. I can't find it. It's the last thing that Carl Reiner's ever done, because
yes, he sadly passed away.
Yes, he did sadly pass away. Obviously, Rob Reiner's father, and a great director in his own right. The wonderful Dead Men Don't Wear Plaid, a great funny little Steve Martin movie, and obviously The Jerk. I'm spilling my Blu-rays everywhere. My Blu-rays flying. So this is the first Shrek movie. No, it's not.
I got that impression as well.
Yeah. 25 years old and it hasn't aged a day. Yeah, I can see that. Apart from one thing, which I think hangs over this movie like a goddamn omen. We'll get to, I don't know. I'll probably spill my big thing before what's to change, but I'm going to try and keep it in. Carrie Elwes, so handsome. He is. He's a very handsome man.
Yes.
He perfectly embodies the Errol Flynn through. Zorro, yes. No, he definitely embodies Zorro. Less so Louis Theroux.
I'd watch that though, Louis Theroux.
Yeah, I could see it. I mean, I was going to say I could see that. I want to see that. I don't think I can see it. Damn, this looks terrible and boring. Is this from The Child? Is this from Fred Savage before he sees the film? Now, we'll jump into 10-minute stretch, please.
Hey, I have got climbing the cliff.
The cliff of insanity into the jewel.
Going into the jewel, that's wonderful. And I love how they effortlessly just climb up the rope.
Yes. That's because Andre the Giant had a back problem. He couldn't. Right, okay. So Andre the Giant is in this film. Obviously, he's marvelous as Fezzik, and basically had a disease. I can't remember the whatever name. But basically, he just grew and grew all his life, including all of your organs. Your organs grow with you. Your entire body just grows and grows until you die, basically, until your body physically can't take it. And he died at 47. Yeah, obviously he was a very famous wrestler in his own rights. But yeah, no, he literally, like the scene later where he carries Robin Wright, and she's obviously only 100 pounds to her, and he had to have full back support, and he was leaning against something, and she was on a harness. Wow. So in this scene, the rope scene, they are all on harnesses, and such and such. So that's why it looks so effortless and gliding.
I think it adds to the comedy, though.
I do. Great. I think it adds to the sort of fairy tale-esque version of it. Yeah.
And then
yes, as you were.
My other nomination, I've got The Wedding, and sort of that paired with the infiltration.
The wedding into the duel between the great duel between Count Rugen and Inigo Montoya. Finally, right, getting to get his own back on Count Rugen, and we don't know. Will it happen? Will it work? Will he achieve it? What duel do you prefer? Do you prefer the whimsy and the chat of the Wesley, or should I say the Man in Black, as he's referred to in that period, the Man in Black and Inigo, or do you prefer the grit and I would say realism? Yeah, realism and
I like the first one because it lasts longer.
True. Yeah.
There's more to watch.
I died that day. You can die too, for all I care.
Oh. As you wish.
Oh, my sweet Wesley, what have I done? Ow! Oh!
Oh! Oh!
Ow!
Oh! Oh!
Oh! Ow! Ouch!
They've disappeared. He must have seen us closing in, which might account for his panicking and error. Unless I'm wrong, and I'm never wrong, they are headed dead into the fire swamp.
Can you move at all?
Move? You're alive. If you want, I can fly.
Like
I
Sting.
think it's
Sting, famous for his tantric sax. Yeah, no, I like in all honesty, I like the blood of the second duel. I like that we don't hold back and that he's poor Inigo. I mean, he gets over it pretty quickly for the rest of the film, but anyway. And he's holding, and you can see the blood coming through his hand. It's good for a kid's film. You know, I'm pretty outspoken on this, that I like kids' movies where they don't shy away from anything. I love Gremlins, you know, because Gremlins now, when you buy the Blu-rays, are 15, which doesn't make any sense to me. Yeah.
What was it back then? 12?
Well, they didn't really. No, this is the thing. When Gremlins came out, there was no 12A, or in America, as it's called, PG-13. And it was actually Spielberg, who sort of said we need a PG-13/12A, because he produced Gremlins, which got lots of complaints because it was too scary, and Temple of Doom, which obviously has that heart being pulled out scene, and people were like, this should be rated R, never mind kids watching it, this is Indiana Jones. So he sort of said, yeah, we need to have something in between, because they're still kids films, but they're more so family films or whatever.
Yes.
And so we've got, I say thank, but there's nothing really to thank. I can't remember the last time. I mean, I guess it's an older thing, but I can't remember the last time I thought about a film's rating.
Yeah, it's when you're younger, obviously, you're always thinking about it. And that day when you can finally watch an 18.
I remember I felt very naughty. Me and my father, I think I was 12 or 13, and we went to see Hangover Part 3. That was my first 15 in the cinema. And obviously, yeah, no, it was.
Well, but when you were 12, you still looked like a 40-year-old man.
I don't think I look like a 40-year-old man. I think the old joke is obviously that when I was talking about when I was 16 or whatever and contemplating nights out in Wakefield or whatever, and my friends with fake IDs would say, just talk to them about the Beatles and they'll let you in. They'll know, far too much old shit for people to believe that you're actually 16. And but I don't think I look like a 40-year-old man. I just have the soul. I got old soul comment again yesterday. What was I?
Hey.
Oh, I was at the bar, obviously working, and I had my playlist on that's about 600 songs or whatever. I just call it General, and I was singing along to Kate Bush, "The Man with a Child in His Eyes."
With a child in his.
The man with a child in his eyes. What's your favourite Kate Bush song, Will?
Oh, I like Babushka.
Babushka's good. Wuthering Heights is obviously incredible.
Yes.
Running Up That Hill, one of the all-timers of the 80s for me. Then obviously her and Peter Gabriel, beautiful. Don't give up if you have friends. Always a beautiful song. Not on Spotify, which is very annoying.
Oh.
I know, and I don't know why. It's just one of those. Like on the Blues Brothers soundtrack on Spotify, it's very annoying because they don't have for like certain songs they don't have the rights for or something. So on the Blues Brothers soundtrack, it skips loads of songs. So it skips Ray Charles' "Shake Your Tail Feather," which is the best song in the Blues Brothers, the best performance, everything. And it also doesn't have Cab Calloway's "Minnie the Moocher," which isn't so bad because there's lots of versions of Minnie the Moocher on Spotify, but there aren't any versions of "Shake Your Tail Feather" that are good. It's all bloody like 80s pop, like when like cover bands and they can't even think of a name, and it's like all-star party band. That's the sort of mood that we're going for the "Shake Your Tail Feather." Any other nominations, Will, for best 10-minute stretch?
They're the ones that I picked up on.
Yeah. Battle of the Wits into that little argument they have and the fall down the hill. I'm going to say one of my big questions now, and I don't know whether it's a question or it's a change or what. Are we not supposed to know that the man in black is Wesley? Obviously, we can sort of pass off that it's a fairy tale and say that not that Buttercup's stupid, but we can sort of ignore Buttercup not knowing who he is. But are we supposed to not know that it's Wesley? Because it's so very clearly
I think we're meant
is.
to know because it's so obvious that I think you should. I think you're meant to know, and I think it's that dramatic irony that the other characters don't know, and you're thinking, "Come on, realise."
I haven't read the book.
It only takes us to try and kill him to work it out.
Yeah, I haven't read the book, so I don't know in the book whether he's just referred to as the Man in Black, and it's a reveal when he says "as you wish." Also, why does he hold off so long? Why is he? If I was with the woman I love so desperately, the minute we're alone, I'm pulling off that mask and
he's having his fun, isn't he? He's having his fun.
Yeah, it takes.
No, but also, I think he wants to get the fact out of her that he's still bitter that she's moved on from him.
True. Okay. Fair
he's wanting to sort of work that out before he forgives her.
And obviously, that final "as you wish" falling down the cliff is
great.
So marvelous. And then, "Oh my dear Wesley, what have I done?" And then she falls down as well, and she really goes for it. It's a really, really good tumble. Better than Mr. Tumble? For those of you listening, Will doesn't have aggressive flatulence. There are builders.
There's a new curry place that's open down near me.
Johnny Cash sang about it, didn't he? Ring of fire, that ring of fire. My ring's on fire. My ring's on fire. The Fire Swamp. Just a really good set piece.
Yeah.
That William Goldman, he doesn't like being on set. And so he came on set, and the one day he came on set was the fire scene, and he ruined it because he yelled out, "Her dress is on fire!" And they obviously had to change the take and had to do it all again. Because he thought it was a mistake, because he didn't know, what had been kept in the screenplay. Obviously, Miracle Max, the incredible Billy Crystal and the incredible Carol Kane, I mean, steals the show for me, really. I mean, I'm a big Billy Crystal guy.
Yeah.
The fact that he's doing an impression of Mel Brooks's The 2,000-Year-Old Man, one of my favourite sketches of all time.
It took me a while to realise it were Billy Crystal.
Oh, didn't you know?
It's great prosthetics. That was a better reveal than Carrie.
Yes, it was. He should have ripped it off in the, really scary. Why don't they do that in, credit scenes? When I love a credit sequence where we see the people again and their names pop up. Some films, it's really out of the blue, like the end of Predator. Arnie's beat the Predator, and then suddenly what's the song that's playing in the helicopter? It's Tutti Frutti, oh Ludi, and that comes on again, and then it's Arnold Schwarzenegger, and they're all going, hey, and it's like Happy Days.
It's great.
But in this, they
do it great in Mr. Bean's Holiday as well. That's a good.
Never liked Mr. Bean. I'm sure this
Have
has
you
come
not?
on. I don't know what
must
it is.
have. Yeah.
I just never found him funny.
And that's why I'm the favourite. Ask any of the fans.
Yes, they love Chicken Run. And then the wedding into the duel with the wonderful Peter Cook. Marriage. Peter and Dudley and Peter. Yes, the incredible Peter Cook from the Beyond the Fringe sketch group with Alan Bennett and Peter Cook and Dudley Moore that started all of their careers off so marvellously. And they've all done wonders since. Yes. Who was your favourite out of those three? Well, Peter Cook,
Alan.
Dudley Moore, or it's Alan Bennett. Do you like?
It's a no-brainer.
Do you like not Alfie? What's it called? Arthur. Do you like Arthur, Will?
I do.
Mm. Do you like the Russell Brand Arthur?
No. I've always been hit and miss with Russell because I think he's quite funny in some stuff, but also
Sarah Marshall is great.
Yeah, I just sometimes find him a bit too much because I know he likes to use big words, and I'm not too sure that he knows what they mean a lot of the time. But I'm sure he does because he's a very clever guy.
Yeah, I think he does.
He's like a young, more left-wing hippie Stephen Fry.
yeah, I can see that. Yeah, no, I think he's an exceptionally talented man who just likes dick jokes.
Very, yeah.
And who can blame him?
You truly love each other, and so you might have been truly happy. Not one couple in a century has that chance, no matter what the storybooks say. And so I think no man in a century will suffer as greatly as you will.
Not to 50!
Physic, listen. Do you hear? That is the sound of ultimate suffering. My heart made that sound when Ruga slaughtered my father. The man in black makes it now.
The man in black?
He's great in Centurions. That's a great Russell.
Since I've seen those. No, I'd have to say Forgetting Sarah Marshall is my favourite of those films. I think Forgetting Sarah Marshall just one of my favourite comedies. I love Jason Segel. I love Mila Kunis. I mean, come on. Bill Hader, Paul Rudd. Forgetting Sarah Marshall is just an all-out. I just love Forgetting Sarah Marshall. And as a man who now has been through a huge breakup, I get all those jokes as well. I mean, I got them before, but now They hit home. What's the next category?
This is not good.
Tom's Whitler's specific favourite parts of the film.
that's what it is. Right.
Yeah. This is a kissing book. Like that. I love all the little interjections with the grandfather and the grandson. There's not too many. There's just enough.
No.
And all of them are funny and add to the meta or add to the... Because I was listening, obviously, to all the special features and stuff. It's an ingenious plot device. Because when you show your kids this film, which I can't wait to do, I'll big it up too much. And I'll say, it's this incredible film, you're going to love it. And I'm going to be the granddad. And the kid's going to go, it's from the 80s, it's boring. Except my kids won't be like that because they'll watch great films from an early age. And I will start them on black and white movies early. And they'll
wonder if this is a thing now, because we always say, all the best Christmas songs are from the 80s and like all the best sort of films. Is that just going to carry on forever now? Are we stuck in that? Is there not going to be that new sort of era that we all look back on? Or is it always going to be the 80s?
I don't know. I've been on a big 80s comedy haul recently, and I do think the 80s are still the best. Is still the best decade for comedy. I think the 2000s and the 2010s have been very good. Most of the 2010s, your Hangovers, your Anchormans, and onward. Not the first Anchorman, that was 2000. But anyway, your Step Brothers. I think that there's lots of gold there. But I think the 80s are your best for comedies. I think if we're talking Christmas, I don't remember the last great Christmas movie I watched. The
Polar Express?
No, I hate Polar Express, don't I?
The best?
Oh, well, please. The most recent Christmas thing that I watch is A Very Murray Christmas. I watch that every year, but that's just, I adore Bill Murray. I adore George Clooney. You know, it's just an ideal watch for me. I don't know what it is, and also Christmas song. There's the Leona Lewis one that people start playing now, a bit more. Ariana Grande had a Christmas album, but I don't like it. But I can't think of the there's not been a big Christmas hit that everybody just undeniably loves of recent. I think movies. I like lots of movies that still come out. Music less so. I mean, I'm famously a bit grog.
Yeah.
I am like an old man when it comes to music.
No, yeah, you do hear more often with movies like sort of something that came out in 2018 and people are like, yeah, that's one of the greatest films of all time. You don't really get that with music nowadays.
No. I mean, I thought 2019 was one of the best years we've had in a very, very, very long time. I mean, my top three, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Marriage Story, and Irishman, I know full well that I will watch those three movies repeatedly for the rest of my life. And also...
Sounds fun.
Yeah. Yeah. Miserable divorce movie, a movie about the acceptance of death and misery in life. And Once Upon a Time in Hollywood's fun. But also the ending always leaves me. I mean, we've got an episode coming up, and so we'll talk about it then. But the ending always leaves me bittersweet.
Very sad.
I think it's one of the most beautiful endings of recent memory.
And he didn't win. And he.
What did win? No, it was original. What won original screenplay? Oh my God, Jojo won adapted.
Yeah.
Oh, Parasite won. No, that's good. Parasite
I've not
was
seen
great.
Parasite.
Parasite's great. It definitely deserves. I don't know if it deserved to. I'm happy that it won. I would have obviously preferred Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Marriage Story, or Irish.
Well, we are both big Once Upon a Time fans.
Yeah,
that's given.
I have no doubt once you get around to Marriage Story, you'll go, "Oh no, that was excellent." I thought Marriage Story.
I'm just not a big Scarlett Johansson fan. I cringe every time I see her. No,
I think
I cringe.
I think she's undeniably great in Marriage Story. I think. What did you think of her in JoJo?
I think she was good, but I still cringed every time she spoke.
I didn't cringe every time.
I don't know what it is.
I cringed when she did the pretending to be the dad scene. I thought that was a bit cartoony. I mean, of course, it's all cartoony.
It was pretty great on paper writing, but it's scenes like that are hard to do. I like it when she's like, "I'm going to chew on my grapes." Drinks the wine. I like that.
Yeah, I thought I think she's pretty marvelous. I have to say, I've loved her in Lost in Translation, and I thought, yes.
I don't like just Lost in Translation.
You don't like Lost in Translation. I'll maybe bring you around on Lost in Translation. I don't think I can bring you around on Lost in Translation because I'm not fully sold on Lost in Translation either. It's mainly my diehard love of Murray.
Yeah,
I don't.
That'd probably be the only thing that gets me through it as well.
Yeah, it's one of those. Continuing with Tom's weirdly specific favourite parts, the wonderful Wallace Shawn. I'm waiting. Wallace Shawn in Marriage Story, incredible in Marriage Story. 2-time Oscar winner, sucking my, and then he gets interrupted. It's a great moment in Marriage Story. The cliff fall, which we talked about. The sand hole is incredible.
Oh, yeah.
Such a great practical effect. Really frightening stuff, well, not. And yeah, and also it's a bit. It reminded me a bit of in Ghostbusters, where they're about to go up the final tower, and then for no reason they just spent $1 million or whatever on, and the whole street breaking apart, and there's no reason for it to happen. It's just somebody's wild idea. That's probably Dan Aykroyd's. Those good damn Bible scripts that he writes that then he leaves John Landis and Ivan Reitman to tie down to an actual film. And then when he directs it, like Nothing But Trouble, the movie is a complete psychotic mess. The wonderful pit of despair clearing of the throat joke. It's time for the pit, the pit of despair. One of my favourite interjections, you're messing up the story. She's not supposed to be with Prince Humperdinck. She's supposed to be with... It's lovely. And then we realise that, he's fully in on the story. And then Peter...
He no longer likes sports. He's fully sold.
He's fully sold.
It was like me as a child. I always demanded to be read sport stories. Because as we all know, I'm incredibly athletic.
Is it true? I was always making stories. I'm famously good at making stories. My children, they don't know how lucky they are. They're not even alive yet. Boo! Boo! You've thrown away your love! One of my favourite little moments. I mean, the best gag in the whole film, the incredible Christopher Guest running down the hall, turning, then running down the hall. You're yet to do the big dive into Christopher Guest, aren't you, Will? With writing for Guffman and Best in Show and A Mighty Wind. And have you even seen Spinal Tap?
No.
Oh, this will be sorted out promptly. I mean, Christopher Guest, another one of my idols. I mean, and I know it's another one of those where I just know that you're going to just love them all. It's, Eugene Levy and the rest in peace, the wonderful Fred Willard, who recently passed, and Catherine O'Hara and Parker Posey, and even Ricky Gervais is in one. And obviously this is Spinal Tap, directed incredibly by the director of this one, Rob Reiner. And the window jump, just how beautiful and elegant that fall from Robin Wright is. I was rereading all of William Goldman's essays, and you know how when you write or say Muhammad, you're supposed to say peace be upon him.
Yeah.
It's like his own Muhammad. Every time he writes Robin Wright, he opens brackets, and yes, she is that beautiful in real life. Close brackets. And because what a beauty in this film. So talented. So beautiful.
A very different Robin Wright to Forrest.
Jenny! Arguably the worst person, not character, she's a finely written character, but the worst person in the world. She's a raging heroin addict who, you know, just takes advantage of this poor, mentally challenged man, then keeps a kid secret from him, and then comes to him when she's slowly dying of AIDS, and he's like, I need your help. Terrible. I don't know where I stand on Forrest Gump. There are parts of it that I greatly love, and there are parts of it that I don't. I don't know. But I don't know whether most of my, it's not a hatred of Forrest Gump, where most of my indifference for Forrest Gump comes from the fact that it should have been Shawshank or Pulp Fiction to win that Oscar. And I'm usually not that sort of guy. I usually just take a film as a film. I don't know what it is about Gump. I don't know. I mean, I think I need a rewatch. I think I need to do a full rewatch and give it its due.
I'm just upset that it's a Zemeckis film.
Why are you upset about it?
Because I like Zemeckis.
I like Zemeckis, Will. I you know, What Lies Beneath, Back to the Future movies, Romancing the Stone, Death Becomes Her. These are some of my favourite movies ever. And I mean, you like all the CGI stuff. I'm not a big. I famously enjoy Beowulf. But as previously mentioned, Polar Express I don't enjoy. Will's more general favourite part of the film.
Hey, I like it when they're rhyming with the giant. He loves it. He loves poetry. A lot of these things I've already said. Peter Falk again. Any appearance of Peter Falk. The As You Wish role. The bit where they're like, excuse me, could I have your gate key? Oh, you mean this? And they scare him into giving the gate key. I love that. Little bits like that are great. And that's pretty much all I've got.
Fair dues. Oscar travesty. I don't know if there really is one. I don't know what I'd give an Oscar for it this time. It didn't get nominated for it. It got nominated for Best Song. It lost for Storybook Love. And we'll get to the music later. I don't want to play my hand. Will's favourite building or set?
It's the torture machine. I like anything with water used, any hydraulic power. It's
so satisfying to watch.
Yeah.
Even though it is the murder machine or whatever they declare it, it's so satisfying to watch.
It's like, did you ever watch? What was it called? It wasn't the Ant Bully. It was what was it called?
A Bug's Life.
No, it was shrunk down, and there was all these ants, but it wasn't the Ant Bully or A Bug's Life. And Boy Shrunk.
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
No, you fool.
Honey, I Blew Up the Kids.
No. This is really annoying me.
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids again.
It's not any of the Honey, I Shrunk the Kids ones, Tom.
You should have said that the first time.
Boy Shrunk, Insects, Straw, Water.
Boy Shrunk into Incest. What did you say? Did you say incest?
No, Insect. Arthur and the Invisibles. It's come up straight away. And I searched Boy Shrunk Insect Straw Water cartoon movie.
Well,
that's very satisfying. It's Freddie Highmore and Mia Farrow.
Oh no!
The greatest combination ever. And he shrunk down because of, like, his granddad was all into this sort of friends.
Oh no! I saw it. Yes, as a child.
Yes, it's great. It's great. And he shrunk down because this cartoon weird elf thing. And then the final climactic scene is because they're stealing all the water. But there's this whole system of straws and pipes all together.
Yes, very satisfying. I do remember this. Yes.
Yes.
Oh, it's almost as satisfying as the opening of A Bug's Life when they're trying to get the water, and there's all that. Oh, very good.
There you go.
Which is why, as a child, I found the 101 Dalmatians baking her into a cake scene so satisfying. because it was just and the chicken run, same again. These are the most contraptions.
I love it. This is why I am the man I am today.
Yes. Speaking of the man you are today, do you know, Will, where they all stayed during this shooting? It was all shot in England.
Sheffield?
They stayed in Sheffield.
Hey.
And Chris Sarandon, Prince Humperdinck, is going, we stayed in Sheffield, which is this northern town. And I was like, I know, Chris. You don't need to tell me. I mean, it was like Dora the Explorer. I wasn't actually talking to a TV.
Wouldn't you agree, Your Highness?
A technicality that will shortly be remedied. But first things first. To the death.
No! To the pain.
I don't think I'm quite familiar with that phrase.
I'll explain, and I'll use small words so that you'll be sure to understand, you warthog-faced buffoon.
That may be the first time in my life a man has dared insult me.
It won't be the last. To the pain means the first thing you lose will be your feet below the ankles. Then your hands at the wrists. Next, your nose.
And then my tongue, I suppose. I killed you too quickly the last time. A mistake I don't mean to duplicate tonight.
I wasn't finished. The next thing you lose will be your left eye, followed by your right.
And then my ears, I understand. Let's get on with it.
Wrong! Your ears you keep, and I'll tell you why. So that every shriek of every child at seeing your hideousness will be yours to cherish.
That's when you know you're too old to watch Dora the Explorer, isn't it? When you stop responding to her. Help me! Nothing. Where's the map? That's when you...
I never watched it.
I think I watched... I definitely watched some.
I was more of a tweenies, that sort of stuff. I was obsessed with tweenies.
I was always a cat dog kind of guy. I always liked Bananas in Pajamas when they were those terrifying real life bananas, not the cartoon. And Lord knows what would happen if I saw one of those real life bananas in real life. It'd terrify you.
Do you know the full lyrics to the Pajamas in Pajamas song?
No, go on.
The second verse.
There's a second verse. If you play it backwards, does it say "Hail Satan"?
No. It's what is it? Here we go. So there's a second verse, and it's.
Remind me of the first verse, Will.
It's bananas in pajamas are running down the stairs, yes. And then of course you've got. I think it was. It might have been another series, but it was zucchinis in bikinis are coming down the stairs, and it's just another good rhyme, but it's less popular than pajamas in bananas.
You definitely nearly just said vaginas.
I did.
It's less popular than vaginas.
And you did say it. So
yeah, yes, I think it's fair to say that bananas in pajamas is less popular than vaginas, which are loved by many across this fine world. I'll kick us off on Single Minute. The opening setup, meeting Peter Falk, meeting the grandson.
Yes.
It's just a lovely setup.
I want him to, at the end, well, spoilers, the very end, when he's, of course, he's like, can you read me a story tomorrow? And I won't spoil the ending line because I know.
It's all right. No, we can do it now. He obviously says, as you wish.
Yes, as you wish, and it's just wonderful. And then I wanted to walk out and come back in and go, just one more thing, and do his Columbo.
Well, that actually wasn't. We have got an alternate ending this week, and I'll do it now. So It's not a big one. There were two basically. So originally he kissed him on the forehead and said, "As you wish." And Reiner didn't like the way that he had directed it, and so they reshot it. So the close-up of "As You Wish" is the only thing shot in America, because everything else was shot in Europe, mainly England. But they had to. Peter Falk was obviously in America at the time, so he had to do that. Also, there was the idea that he was going to hear horses, and then he was going to look down out of his window and see all 4 of the characters on their horses, which
I like Big Fish.
Yeah, a bit like I think I do. I'll be honest. I think the ending's missing something. I think
it's missing. It's missing him looking into it, or the kid finding like an old picture and realizing that Peter Falk was Carruthers, and as a young man.
Well, I don't know about that.
It's a story of his life.
I don't know about that maybe, but I can see the kid looking down and seeing the 4 people. I just think it's missing a button. I think the As You Wish is beautiful, but then I think it's quite an awkward ending. I think the shot holds too long, then it just fades to black. I don't know. I think it's missing a beat. B&W Farm. Oh, meeting Buttercup and Wesley on the farm.
Yes.
And more setup, obviously, and then, you know, we are introduced to As You Wish, As You Wish. I don't want to say that Cary Elwes has milked his one role as Wesley, but he did release a book 5 years back about the making of Princess Bride called As You Wish. But I wouldn't dare say that it's milking it. However, maybe he's written a book on all of his films. Maybe there's a Kiss the Girls book out there. His role as Casanova. The Rope Chase, which we talked about, and I've got both of the Jewels specifically. Will, have you got any other nominations for single minute?
Minutes. I've got The Cups, the
Battle of the Wits,
the Poison. I think that's very good. I've got, of course, Miracle Max, and then Killing Count Reuben, that final jewel.
Well, there's a shortage of perfect breasts in this world. It would be a pity to damage yours. It's best line time. Obviously, hello, my name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. And it is, however, I prefer the punchline of "Stop saying that." That's my favourite time that he delivers the line. We'll never survive. Nonsense. You're just saying that because no one ever has. Talks about the gate key. You mock my pain. Life is pain, Highness. Anyone who says differently is selling something. It's these wonderful little witticisms that are throwaway lines that are so tragically painful. Why don't you throw a couple out?
I like the one where he's just made the giant unconscious, and he's like, "And I hope you have dreams of a large woman."
You rush a miracle, man. You get random miracles. I've seen worse. Again, Miracle Max. Kill me quickly. I would sooner destroy a stained glass window than an artist like yourself. However, since I can't have you follow me either, please understand I hold you in the highest respect. Any other nominations, Will?
I like Billy Crystal's little aside. It would take a miracle when they're walking off. I like that. Since so he is called Miracle Max.
Have fun storming the castle. Rob Reiner told a story on one of the behind-the-scenes things about how he met an Iraqi soldier general whose thing was before when he would wave his people off to war, he would say, "Have fun storming the castle," and that was just something that they did to cheer themselves up. Any other nominations, Will, for best line?
No.
Right, what's the change?
I'm worried.
Is this the world's worst score to a good film? This is one of the worst pieces. It's not like I don't like Mark Knopfler, or however you pronounce it. I love Dire Straits, and Romeo and Juliet is one of my favourite songs ever. But this score is absolutely atrocious. I think it ruined it. It doesn't ruin the film, obviously, because I still love it and I still watch it. But what I would give for an edit of this film, not even with a new score, with the score removed. I don't mind the guitar at the start. That's lovely. But the rest of the score is so... like
this is
chinky and like clinky and like it's like it's so cheap. I can't think of a word.
I was not expecting this from you.
I hate the score so much.
Okay. I've written down in my notes moments when I enjoyed the music. In particular, well, I can agree the score isn't the best, but I like how it mimics the movement sometimes. So I like how some things are in time to the music.
Oh no, that's great.
The music works around the action. That's good.
There's nothing more visually there's nothing more satisfying to a viewer than in-time editing. But also, the music's terrible. I don't like the music is really bad.
I'm worried to show you the prologue to my Peep Show musical now. I was going to announce that I've just finished composing it, and I don't want to show you anymore because you'll just say it's terrible.
No, we don't. Just listen to this. It's so like. No, that's a fine track. But it's so dinky and like the big sword fights, and it sounds like it's terrible. It sounds like
it sounds like I know exactly what you mean. It sounds
like an 80s video game, and I don't want you to even attempt to say, okay, well maybe that's the point because he's playing a video game at the start. I just think it's bad.
It sounds exactly like it sounds like it's not been orchestrated. It sounds like it's all been computer programmed on like Cubase. It's all artificial instrument noises.
I can only imagine how annoyed Becky was with the Titanic. The can only imagine if she heard this. And this is coming from, he famously, the music for the film Local Hero is apparently one of the best scores ever. And he's now turned it into a musical, which unfortunately got COVIDed. But, so is this good or is this just as bad? This is all like light jazz. I just have no idea what the hell is happening. Anyway. No, I don't want to say it because it's mean and he can't help it. But there are a few lines where you can't tell what Andre the Giant's saying and you have to put the subtitles on. And it's not a change, but
it just adds to the character.
It adds to the character, but you also have to put subtitles on. I don't.
That's like whenever a Southerner watches Happy Valley.
You know, when they released Trainspotting in America for the first time, they added subtitles because they couldn't understand the the Robert Carlyle thick Scottish.
That's annoying because all Americans seem to think that they are Scottish.
Yeah. Choose a life. Choose life. Choose a big fucking telly. Choose a job. Trainspotting. Will, do you like Trainspotting?
Not seen it.
Ever?
Not seen Trainspotting. No.
Good film. Some might say.
An
excellent film.
I've only got one change, and it's just a sort of a moment when I went, and it's the wonderful Robin Wright. When they first gang up and take her, when the giant grabs her, she makes a very strange noise.
Hello. My name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die. I tried.
You must be that little Spanish brat I taught a lesson to all those years ago. Simply incredible. Have you been chasing me your whole life only to fail now? I think that's the worst thing I've ever heard. How marvelous.
She goes, and then we just cut. And just reshoot it.
Stranger than Titanic's. Incredible. Maybe it was like the alternate ending to Titanic, and if they did reshoot it, and she did the exact same noise again and again.
I wonder if that noise was sort of inspiration for the Little Britain character. You know,
Anne. Yeah. What's left from Will's notes?
I've right. One of the things I like most about this film is it doesn't feel like an 80s movie.
It does feel timeless, yes.
It feels like it's come from the early 2000s, or at least the late 90s. I can see that. It does not feel like an 80s movie, which for many people who were, for many of the cool kids, that's a bonus, because the older the movie, the less cool it is.
I think the 90s are the worst decade for aging. I don't know what it is, but like when an 80s movie is dated, like, you know, Wall Street with, you know, Michael Douglas's gigantic phone. I don't know. There's a charm to it. But I think 90s, there's just no charm to it at all. Like, you know, all those bloody Pulp Fiction rip-offs, you know, where they're all doing, you know, witty dialogue and I'm killing people and hey. Just terrible. Bad stuff. Anything left from your notes, Will?
No.
Not that you have seen Spinal Tap, Will, but there is the hat that Rob Reiner wears as Marty. Oh, what's it called? Marty Feldstein. Marty. Where is it? This is Marty. Oh, Marty. What's his name? What's Rob Reiner's name in this Spinal Tap? It's Marty. Oh, it's Marty something. Anyway, he wears a hat. And it's in the kids' bedroom.
Very bad at police identification.
Marty DeBergi.
That's it.
What do you mean, that's it? You haven't seen This Is Spinal Tap, Will?
I'm helping you. I'm making you feel better. It's a sense of
defeat.
Yeah.
I love the line, please consider me an alternative to suicide. Which I might use sometime, you know.
Oh.
Alternate ending corner. We've talked about it. A few fun facts. Will's farting again. When asked what his favourite thing about making the film was, Andre the Giant replied, without skipping a beat, "Nobody looks at me." He felt treated as an equal, without people staring at him because of his grand height.
I wish I was taller.
Yeah. Mandy Patinkin has said that Inigo Montoya is his favourite role throughout his whole career. Even more than Shay. When Count Rugen hits Wesley over the head, Carrie Elwes told Christopher Guest to go ahead and hit him for real. Guest hit him hard enough to shut down production for a day while Elwes went to the hospital. According to the author, William Goldman, when he was first trying to get the movie made in the 70s, a then unknown Arnold Schwarzenegger wanted to play Fezzik, and he was strongly being considered because Goldman could never get his first choice, Andre, to read for the role. By the time the movie was made, about 12 years later, Schwarzenegger was such a big star that they could not afford him. Andre was cast after all, and the two big men had gone on to become big friends. Director Rob Reiner left the set during Billy Crystal's scenes because he would laugh so hard that he would feel nauseated. And the only injury that Mandy Patinkin got during the film was a bruised rib from holding in laughter in the Miracle Max scene. Lovely stuff.
Very good.
Liam Neeson revealed on the Graham Norton show that he auditioned for Fezzik. Director Rob Reiner scoffed when he heard that Neeson's height was only 6'4".
Oh, he's a very tall man.
Here's another possible casting. Before filming, Wallace Shawn had come to understand that he was the second choice for the part after...
Dinklage.
Danny DeVito. Although there is some confusion about whether DeVito was seriously pursued. He became convinced that he was wrong for the role and in danger of being fired at any moment. He was extremely nervous throughout filming, and co-star Carrie Elwes noted that he was visibly sweating during the Battle of the Wits scene. He said to Rob Reiner that he didn't feel he'd get the part because he isn't Sicilian. Rob assured him that his voice was exactly the same as Vincini's in the books. William Goldman came up with the title of the novel because he asked his daughters what sort of novel he should read, and one of them said, something about a princess, and the other Will said...
Something about a bride?
Indeed, and he had the title, and he went from there.
The Bride Princess.
Here's an idea for Fezzik that conflicted with his schedule. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Can you see this movie with Kareem?
Sure.
Uma Thurman auditioned for the role of Buttercup, but she was deemed too exotic. Two more. Courtney Cox? No.
That's a very certain...
I don't know. I just see her as a beautiful... blonde princess with the sort of Cinderella... I don't know. Which leads us on to another audition, Meg Ryan.
I know what your answer is. We could reunite Billy.
Well, Will, I've got a controversial opinion for you.
Oh.
I would keep Robin Wright. I think she's perfect, and I think she was 19/20. She celebrated her 20th birthday on the set, and I think her age, works perfectly.
I think she's fantastic.
Oh, I know. There's no doubt that she's sensational. But I feel like I have to defend my choice, seeing as I would never besmirch the name of Meg Ryan, you know. An incredible actress. I mean, I even enjoy When a Man Loves a Woman, and that is actively a bad film. Christopher Reeve was considered for the role of Wesley. Bit old, I think, at that time.
I can't see that at all.
Yeah. William Goldman claimed that Carrie Fisher was the ideal choice for Buttercup.
No.
Maybe a more witty Buttercup, but she's not really... I wouldn't say that she's written as passive. But she's never... She's never given a big Carrie Fisher bite back scene.
Yeah, with Carrie Fisher, you expect that sort of big, whoa, hold on a minute, sort of Princess Fiona sort of character.
Just when you thought that Carrie Fisher was an odd choice, Will, Whoopi Goldberg campaigned for the role of Princess Buttercup. Can you see that?
Yes, I can. I want to see it, and I want it to be made right now. I want Whoopi. I want to do a gender bend, and Whoopi could be Wesley.
Where am I?
The pit of despair. Don't even think.
Don't even think about trying to escape. The chains are far too thick. And don't dream of being rescued either. The only way in is secret. Only the Prince, the Count, and I know how to get in and out.
Then I'm here till I die?
Till they kill you,
Yeah,
that would be great.
Who are we casting as our gender bent prince? Or are they lesbians?
No, I think Rob Reiner is...
Rob Reiner's. Yeah, why not? Tom's big question. Who's the best character?
Oh, I do like Inigo on time. He is good.
However, I do have to say Miracle Max.
Miracle Max is, and it's a show stealer. Doesn't have to be in it much, but it's that one.
He's in, he's out. And also, it's not just Miracle Max; it's the wonderful Carol Kane. You know,
yes,
incredible.
When she comes down, she's like, "What?"
And then, yeah, why the hell didn't they do a better score? It's not really a question. I have no idea. Synopsis of a sequel. Could we have a sequel? I mean, it's a tight package. It's wrapped in a bow.
I mean, they've created a world, haven't they? So there's always the option. But I think it's quite nice as a one-off story, because then you'd have to. They're sort of limited by their own writing. Is there another book? Because they're reading this book, passing down all these generations. It's such a good book. Oh yeah, but also there's another book.
Yeah, the sequel.
Yeah.
Tomorrow I'll read you the sequel. Very, very gravelly voice in this film as Peter Falk,
which is wonderful.
Yes, no, I
right.
There's no, I completely agree. It's fair to say, I completely agree. I don't know what that voice is. Next episode, we conclude William Goldman.
We do, and then it's Christmas time.
It is Christmas time, indeed. Yes.
Are you excited for Christmas, Tom? We won't mention the fact that it is currently July.
Yeah, I'm always excited for Christmas. Well, Christmas is the best time of the year, without a shadow of a doubt. I mean, there's just no doubt about it, is there? Christmas is just the best.
Yeah.
I adore Christmas. It's Christmas.
What did you open on your advent calendar this morning?
Is this when does this come out?
It's the 3rd. It's the 3rd of December.
So I got the 3rd of
Merry
December.
Christmas.
I opened a big chocolate.
Let's see if we can guess what picture we'll get on this advent calendar. I think I've got a snowman. I'll
say a big carrot. You know, it's going to be really weird. What if, like, one of us has a serious deformity or a weight issue? Because we're now going to wait. Well, no, we're going to continue filming other episodes, but we're going to wait until the Christmas time to film the Christmas episode, so that we're not watching It's a Wonderful Life in the middle of summer. But what if there's like a serious weight issue? So next episode, I'm the fattest man in the world, and then the couple of episodes later, I'm back to this again.
People will be begging you. How do you do it? How do you lose that much weight? What's your secret?
I'll grow a big bushy beard.
A great big bushy beard.
Will, it's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Do you want to record another podcast? Will, ask me to record another podcast next week.
Tom, do you want to record another podcast next week?
As you wish. It's like the film.